face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Hello, I'm Sami Mohammed, your news host for this hour. Stay tuned. We'll start with Algeria. Algeria has completed full track installation of the Western Mining Railway, Africa's first heavy-haul railway built across desert terrain, according to an announcement on Wednesday by the project's Chinese constructor. Stretching 575 kilometers, the Western Mining Railway is the largest single infrastructure project ever undertaken by a Chinese company in Algeria. The project was jointly constructed by China's Railway Construction Corporation and Algerian state-owned enterprises. Construction teams from both countries worked for more than 2 years under harsh Saharan desert conditions. Despite the challenges, the track laying phase was completed 3 months ahead of schedule through optimized planning and close coordination. The project involved the production of 1.1 million concrete sleepers and the laying and welding of more than 580 kilometers of rail. China Railway Construction Corporation said the railway was built using technical solutions adapted to Algerian standards, including pre-stressing concrete sleepers designed to support 32.5-ton axle-load freight trains, as well as passenger trains operating at speeds of up to 160 kilometers per hour. Once fully operational, it's expected to enhance logistics capacity, improve regional connectivity, and support economic development in the region. President William Ruto has announced the creation of a national infrastructure fund to help finance Kenya's development and reduce reliance on heavy borrowing. Speaking in his New Year's address from Eldoret, he described 2026 as a key player year focused on action and delivery. Ruto said the fund will be fully operational in January 2026 and will work alongside a new sovereign wealth fund. Together, they are meant to support long-term growth, protect national wealth, and reduce pressure on public debt and taxes. The president explained that the infrastructure fund will use local resources, private investment, and national savings to finance major projects. He assured Kenyans that money from privatization will be strictly used for public infrastructure and decrease long-term value. Ruto linked the new financing plan to major projects expected in 2026, including highways, the Atlanta Sports Complex, the Bomas International Convention Center, and the new standard Koje Railway Road from Naivasha to Malaba. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki welcomed the move, saying Kenya now has strong foundation for faster growth. He noted that improved roads, railways, and airports will help unlock jobs, trade, and economic opportunity for the country.
اليوم نرفع راية استقلالنا اليوم نرفع راية استقلالنا ويسطر التاريخ مولد شعبنا ويسطر التاريخ مولد شعبنا
New roads, hotels, and services are welcoming visitors to Ethiopia's historic sites and natural wonders. Tourism creates jobs and celebrates our culture. Investing in visitors invests in our future.
President Patrick Hermione has met with Andre Cicel, Secretary General of the Port Management Association of Eastern and Southern Africa at the State House in Seychelles. During the meeting, the President praised Port Management Association of Eastern and Southern Africa for helping countries in Eastern and Southern Africa share knowledge and improve port operation. He said the association plays an important role in strengthening regional cooperation. President Hermione also expressed pride in Seychelles professionals holding senior positions in international organizations, saying this boosts Seychelles' profile globally. Mr. Cicel briefed the President on Port Management Association of the Eastern and Southern Africa's work to support efficient and sustainable ports. He highlighted the benefits of Seychelles' active involvement and association for the country's maritime sector. The meeting reaffirmed the strong partnership between Seychelles and Port Management Association of Eastern and Southern Africa and underlined the country's commitment to regional cooperation in port management and maritime development. Sudan marked the 70th anniversary of its independence on January 1st amid ongoing conflict, with renewed calls for peace from the African Union and defiant addresses from the country's military leader. The milestone came as Sudan continues to face one of the most serious crises in its modern history. The chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mohamed Ali Yusuf, congratulated the Sudanese government and the people, praising their resilience despite the challenges confronting the country. He said the anniversary should serve as a moment to recommit to ending the war and rebuilding a peaceful and united and dignified Sudan. The African Union reaffirmed its readiness to work closely with all Sudanese stakeholders, alongside regional and international partners including IGAD, the United Nations, and the League of Arab States. The African Union said it remains committed to supporting a ceasefire, humanitarian access, and an African-led Sudanese-owned political solutions. In Khartoum, Sudan's Transitional Sovereign Council chairman and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Laureate General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, addressed the nation from the old presidential palace. Al-Burhan paid tribute to independence leaders, citizens at home and abroad, and members of the armed and security forces. Moving to business news. Africa's economy is expected to grow strongly in 2026, according to the International Monetary Fund. The continent is forecast to have more fast-growing economies than any other region, with several countries expected to expand by 6% or more. South Sudan and Guinea are among the top performers, with double-digit growth driven by oil and mining. In East Africa, economic reforms are showing results, as Uganda, Rwanda, and Ethiopia are projected to grow at an average rate of about 7%. However, experts warn that the outlook is not without risks. Climate shocks, political instability, and high public debt could slow progress if not managed carefully. Debt remains a major challenge. African countries are expected to pay nearly $95 billion to creditors in 2026, with some like Kenya spending about 20% of government budgets on debt repayments. Many governments hope lower global interest rates will ease the pressure. Electricity shortages are another key obstacle, especially in Central Africa. In countries such as the Central African Republic, limited and unreliable power supply continues to hold back businesses, jobs, and industrial growth. Liberia is positioning its mining and energy sector to generate more than $3 billion in revenue under a new 5-year strategic plan launched by Minister of Mines and Energy. The plan aims to modernize the sector and turn it into a key pillar of national economic growth. Speaking at the launch, Mines and Energy Minister Armatonkai Tingban said the sector's success will depend on strong implementation, investment in high return areas, and a shift from reliance on royalties toward equity participation in extractive ventures. Liberia Revenue Authority Commissioner General Dorbor Jala described the mining and energy as vital to fiscal sustainability, stressing that efficient licensing, reliable data, and strong inter-agency coordination are critical to boosting domestic revenue. Lawmakers welcomed the strategy but warned that illegal mining continues to drain revenue and deny communities benefits. House Committee Chair Jeremiah Sokan called for stronger regulation, better coordination, and greater community involvement. Key reforms under the plan include decentralizing services to all countries, updating outdated mining laws, formalizing artisanal mining, digitalizing operations, and modernizing geological data. With an estimated budget of $39.5 million, the government says the strategy aligns with President Joseph Bokai's development agenda and could unlock long-term economic gains. Now to sports news. Morocco welcomed the new year with celebrations across the country as people gathered in streets and public squares to mark the end of 2025. Music, lights, and large crowds created a festive atmosphere nationwide. The celebrations also reflected growing excitement around the African Cup of Nations as the tournament moves into its knockout stage. Fans across Morocco are now turning their attention fully to football. The group stage of AFCON ended as 2025 closed, and in Group E, Algeria, Burkina Faso, and Sudan secured places in the round of 16 after strong performances. From Group F, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, and Mozambique advanced. Defending champions Ivory Coast staged a dramatic comeback, beating Gabon 3-2 after falling 2 goals behind. Ivory Coast and Cameroon both finished on 7 points, but Ivory Coast ranked higher after scoring more goals. The round of 16 begins on Saturday, January 3rd, with Senegal facing Sudan. Other highly anticipated matches include Mali versus Tunisia and South Africa versus Cameroon on Sunday. That's it for this hour. Thank you for watching and goodbye.